Ioku's birth was a night the village would never forget. The sky had turned crimson, and a strange serpentine glow danced in the heavens. Adanma, a young widow, labored alone in her hut, the midwife unable to reach her due to torrential rain. By the time Baba Ife, the elder and spiritual custodian, arrived, Adanma was weak but resolute, whispering prayers to the gods. As her labor intensified, she cried out, "The serpent calls him." Her voice echoed unnaturally, sending chills through Baba Ife. When Ioku was born, a faint hiss filled the air, though no snakes were present. Adanma looked into her baby's eyes, which briefly glowed with a golden reptilian hue. She gasped, "He carries the mark, a blessing or a curse," before her eyes closed forever. The villagers gathered outside as the storm abated. Baba Ife emerged with the newborn, his face grim. "This child is touched by forces we do not yet understand. Treat him with care and fear." Hello, please hold on. Please share, like, comment on this story and subscribe to our YouTube channel to enable us grow. And thanks for showing us your support for this channel. Also hit the notification bell to get notified when a new video drops. God bless you. Ioku's childhood was marked by mystery and whispers. As a baby, he rarely cried, and when he did, the sound unervingly resembled a hiss. The villagers kept their distance, especially after noticing strange occurrences around him. Crops near his home would wilt without explanation, and livestock became agitated in his presence. By the age of 6, Ioku displayed extraordinary agility and strength. He could climb the tallest palm trees and lift heavy yams with ease. However, these feats only deepened the villagers' unease. His eyes, often golden in the sunlight, would flash with a reptilian gleam when he was angry or startled. Children avoided him, leaving Ioku to roam the jungle alone. He found solace among the trees, his favorite being a massive baobab with vines that hung like serpents. One day, while sitting beneath it, he felt an unexplainable connection to the earth, as if it pulsed with life beneath him. Baba Ife watched from afar, muttering, "The boy grows stronger, but at what cost?" The spirit's grip tightens. By his teenage years, Ioku had grown into a striking young man. His otherworldly features, sharp cheekbones, gleaming eyes, and an aura of mystery, drew attention despite the villagers' wariness. It was during this time he met Osim, the daughter of the village chief. Osim was unlike the others. Where they saw fear, she saw a kind soul burdened by solitude. She often approached Ioku while he fished by the river or wandered the jungle. Her laughter, like the chiming of bells, softened his guarded heart. Slowly, they became inseparable, sharing stories and dreams beneath the moonlit sky. One evening, as they sat by the riverbank, Ioku confessed, "Osim, I feel different. There's something within me I cannot explain." She touched his hand gently. "We all have shadows, Ioku. Yours doesn't frighten me." That night, Ioku dreamed of a colossal serpent with eyes like molten gold. It whispered, "Your love binds you, but your truth will shatter her heart." Ioku woke in a cold sweat, fearing what lay ahead. Despite their love, Ioku and Osim knew their union was fraught with challenges. Osim's father, Chief Akand, had promised her to Akina, a wealthy and arrogant hunter. Akand saw Ioku as an ill omen, unworthy of his daughter. Undeterred, Ioku and Osim wed in secret, exchanging vows beneath the ancient baobab tree. Osim wore a simple beaded necklace, and Ioku gave her a bracelet he had woven from jungle vines. Their union was blessed by Baba Ife, who warned, "Love must be strong to withstand the weight of destiny." On their wedding night, Ioku felt an unbearable heat coursing through his body. His skin burned, his breath came in gasps, and his back began to ache. Osim watched in horror as scales emerged along his spine, shimmering like molten gold. Ioku fled into the jungle, terrified and ashamed, leaving Osim alone and confused. The next morning, villagers whispered of strange sounds coming from the jungle, a deep hiss and the rustling of leaves, as if something massive moved among them. The villagers' fear turned to anger when Osim revealed Ioku's transformation. They accused him of bringing misfortune to the village. Crops had failed, and the river was drying up. Rumors spread that Ioku was a serpent in human form, sent to curse them. Akina, furious at losing Osim, incited the villagers to capture Ioku. "He has deceived us all. We must rid ourselves of his evil before it consumes us," he bellowed. Torches in hand, the mob gathered, determined to hunt Ioku down. Baba Ife stood before them, his staff raised. "Fools! You act without understanding. Ioku's curse is tied to the gods. His death will not save you. It may doom us all." Reluctantly, the mob dispersed, but their hatred lingered. Meanwhile, Ioku hid deep in the jungle, haunted by visions of the serpent god and the destruction he might bring. He vowed to protect Osim and the village, even if it meant sacrificing himself. Baba Ife gathered the village elders and Osim at the sacred shrine deep in the jungle, where secrets of the gods were carved into ancient stones. The air was thick with tension, and the rustling leaves seemed to whisper Ioku's name. Baba Ife pointed to a weathered carving on the shrine's wall, a serpent coiled around a human figure. "This is Ioku's story," Baba Ife began. "Long ago, the serpent god Agbanu betrayed his kind by stealing divine power to live among humans. The gods cursed him, binding his spirit to mortal bloodlines. Ioku is his vessel, chosen to carry the weight of Agbanu's curse. Only through great sacrifice can this curse be broken, or our village will wither." Osim wept, realizing Ioku's struggles were beyond his control. The villagers, however, remained skeptical. "Why should we suffer for his curse?" one elder demanded. Baba Ife's gaze darkened. "Because his life is tied to our fate. Harm him, and you harm us all." Far in the jungle, Ioku heard whispers of his destiny. He clenched his fists, his back still burning from his transformation. "I will not let my curse destroy them," he vowed. Determined to end Ioku, Akina devised a treacherous plan. Feigning remorse, he approached Osim with a plea. "Let me help Ioku. I was wrong to lead the mob. Take me to him, and we'll find a way to lift his curse." Osim hesitated but believed his sincerity, leading him into the jungle. Ioku, hidden in a grove, sensed their approach and emerged cautiously. Osim ran to him, her eyes filled with relief. "I brought Akina. He wishes to help." Oku, skeptical, kept his distance. Without warning, Akina lunged with a spear aimed at Ioku's heart. Osim screamed as Ioku's instincts took over. His body transformed fully into a giant serpent, his scales glinting like sunlight on water. Akina froze in fear as Ioku coiled around him, fangs bared. "Ioku, stop!" Osim cried, her voice breaking through his rage. Ioku released Akina, who fled in terror, vowing revenge. Edochie, horrified by his own power, slithered back into the jungle's shadows. That night, Edochie dreamed again of the serpent god Agbanu. He stood in a glowing, otherworldly realm filled with floating islands and endless skies. Agbanu, an enormous serpent with eyes of molten gold, circled him, speaking in a voice that rumbled like thunder. "You bear my curse, boy," Agbanu hissed. "But you also carry my power. To free yourself, you must face the trials of the spirit world. Fail, and your soul will be mine forever." Edochie nodded, determined. The first trial began, a test of his courage. He was plunged into darkness, surrounded by monstrous apparitions. They snarled and lunged, but Edochie held his ground, refusing to flee. The second trial was of compassion. He was shown visions of Osim, the villagers, and even Akina, all suffering. "Will you save them, knowing they may never accept you?" Agbanu asked. Edochie answered yes. The final trial was sacrifice. "To save them, you must lose your own heart's desire," Agbanu declared. Edochie's heart ached, but he agreed. The serpent god's laughter echoed as Edochie awoke, unsure of what he had truly lost. Edochie awoke at dawn, his body aching but his mind clearer than ever. The jungle seemed quieter, as if the earth held its breath. He returned to the village, where Baba Ife awaited him at the gates. "Did you pass the trials?" Baba Ife asked, his voice trembling with hope. Edochie nodded. "The curse can be broken, but it will come at great cost." The villagers gathered, watching warily. Kina stepped forward, defiant. "What cost?" "Your life." Edochie shook his head. "Not my life, my memories. To free the village, I must forget who I am and those I love. I will live among you as a stranger, but the curse will end." Osim's face crumpled. "No, Edochie, there must be another way." But Edochie was resolute. "This is my choice, Osim. For you, for the village, for all of us." As Edochie prepared for the ritual, the villagers, once filled with fear, now bowed their heads in gratitude. The ritual was held beneath the ancient baobab tree. Baba Ife chanted prayers to the gods, while Edochie stood in the center, his eyes closed. The air shimmered as the serpent god's voice boomed from the heavens. "You have chosen well, Edochie. Your sacrifice will bring peace." Golden light enveloped Edochie, and his memories began to fade. He looked at Osim one last time, tears streaming down his face. "I love you," he whispered, though the words already felt distant. When the light faded, Edochie stood as a simple farmer, unaware of the power he once held. The village flourished, their crops thriving and their fears dissipating. Osim watched from afar, her heart heavy yet proud. She knew Edochie had saved them all, even if it meant losing himself. The villagers, now free from fear, welcomed Edochie as one of their own, never telling him of his past. The tale of Edochie became a legend, a reminder that true strength lies in sacrifice and love. While the village celebrated Edochie's transformation and the end of the curse, Akina seethed in silence. His failure to defeat Edochie and his humiliation at the hands of a serpent weighed heavily on his pride. Determined to reclaim his honor, he sought out a powerful witch who lived deep in the forbidden swamps. The witch, an old woman with skin as pale as bone and eyes like black pits, listened as Akina poured out his hatred. "He stole my bride and cursed this village. Even now they worship him like a savior. I need power to destroy him." The witch cackled, her voice like dry leaves rustling. "Foolish hunter, you seek vengeance on one who is no longer whole. The gods protect him, but I can give you a weapon to strike at their hearts." She offered him a dagger forged from the fang of a serpent god, promising it would sever any divine connection. Akina took the dagger, feeling its cold, malevolent energy. "With this I will bring down Ioku and the gods who shield him," he vowed, his heart consumed by darkness. Despite Ioku's loss of memory, Osim clung to the hope that one day he might remember her. She kept the bracelet he had woven on their wedding day, wearing it as a reminder of their love. She often visited him in the fields, pretending to be a concerned villager checking on his work. One day, Ioka found her sitting under the baobab tree, staring at the horizon. "You come here often," he said with a smile. "Do you miss someone?" Osim hesitated, her heart aching. "Yes," she admitted. "Someone very dear to me. But he's gone now." Ioka's brow furrowed, as if trying to recall a forgotten dream. "I feel like I'm missing something too," he said softly. "But I don't know what." Osim reached for his hand but stopped herself, afraid of overwhelming him. As they parted ways, Osim vowed silently, "I will wait for you, Aya, no matter how long it takes." Akina returned to the village, his presence unsettling the people. Though they welcomed him cautiously, sensing his changed demeanor, whispers of his disappearance into the forbidden swamps spread. He watched Ioku from afar, noting his simple life. "The gods have reduced you to nothing," Akina muttered. "But I will not let this end here." That night, Akina crept into Ioka's hut. He stood over Ioka's sleeping form, clutching the enchanted dagger. "This is your end," he hissed, raising the blade. But as he brought it down, a strange force repelled him. A protective glow surrounded Ioku, a remnant of the serpent god's blessing. Furious, Akina retreated, his mind racing. "If I cannot kill him directly, I will destroy everything he holds dear." Angered by his failure, Akina returned to the swamp to confront the witch. "Your dagger is useless," he shouted. "The gods still protect him." The witch smirked, her black eyes gleaming. "Foolish hunter, I told you the dagger would sever divine ties. But the boy's soul is still connected to the village. To destroy him, you must strike at the heart of what he protects." Kina frowned. "The village?" The witch nodded, handing him a vial of dark, swirling liquid. "Spread this in their water. It will weaken them, and when they call for their protector, Ioku will fall into despair. That despair will sever the last of his ties to the gods." Akina accepted the vial, his resolve hardening. "I will see this through," he vowed. Under the cover of night, Akina crept to the village's main water source, a sacred river fed by the gods. He emptied the vial into the water, watching as the dark liquid spread, tainting the clear stream. The next morning, the villagers began falling ill. Children wailed, their faces pale, and elders collapsed in the streets. Even the livestock grew weak, their cries echoing through the village. Osim rushed to Baba Ife, pleading for help. "The gods must know what is happening," she cried. Baba Ife, frail and tired, gazed at the sky. "This is no act of the gods," he murmured. "This is the work of dark forces." The villagers began to panic, their trust in Ioku's unseen protection wavering. Akina, watching from the shadows, smiled. "Let their faith crumble. Let Ioku feel their despair." The cries of the villagers reached Ioku, pulling him from his peaceful routine. Though he did not remember his past, their suffering stirred something deep within him. He hurried to the village square, where Baba Ife and Osim tended to the sick. "What's happening?" O asked, his voice trembling. Baba Ife studied him, a glimmer of hope returning to his eyes. "This is no ordinary sickness," he said. "Ioku, you must go to the shrine and seek guidance. Only the gods can tell us what to do." Ioku hesitated, unsure of his ability to help. Osim stepped forward, her voice steady. "You've always been our protector, Ioku. Trust yourself." Her words lit a fire within him. "I'll go," he promised, setting off toward the shrine with determination. Ioku made his way through the dense jungle toward the sacred shrine. The path was overgrown and treacherous, as though the forest itself sought to hinder him. Yet, with every step, he felt an unseen force guiding him, whispering encouragement in the rustling leaves and the songs of distant birds. As he neared the shrine, the air grew colder, and the jungle fell eerily silent. The ground beneath his feet pulsed with energy, reminding him of the dreams he had of the serpent god. Despite his amnesia, the place felt familiar, as if it held fragments of a life he couldn't quite remember. When he reached the shrine, the ancient carvings on its stones seemed to glow faintly, casting golden reflections on his face. Ioku knelt before the central altar, his heart heavy with the villagers' suffering. "Great spirits," he prayed, "I don't know who I was, but I will do anything to save my people. Please show me the way." A deep voice rumbled from the shrine. "You have not forgotten your purpose, even if you have forgotten yourself. Prove your worth, and you will find the answers you seek." The shrine's light intensified, and Ioku found himself transported to an ethereal realm. He stood on a vast mist-covered plain, where 3 paths stretched before him. Each was guarded by a shimmering serpent-like figure with golden eyes, purifying it. The villagers cheered, their faith in him restored. With Akina gone and the river purified, the villagers' health began to improve. Ioku stood before them, his glowing presence a stark reminder of the power he now wielded. Baba Ife stepped forward, his voice trembling. "Eku, the gods have chosen you to protect us, but this is also your choice. Will you stay?" Ioku looked at the villagers, at Osim, and at the land he had fought to save. Memories of his past flickered faintly, but they felt distant and unreal. "This is my home," he said. "I will stay and protect it, but I ask for no worship. Let us live as equals, united in purpose." The villagers knelt in gratitude, and Osim approached him, tears streaming down her face. "Even if you don't remember me," she whispered, "I will stand by you." Ioku took her hand, sensing the depth of her love, even if he couldn't fully understand it. As the village began to rebuild, Ioku felt a sense of peace. He might not remember who he was, but he knew who he wanted to be. A protector, a leader, and a symbol of hope for his people. The story of Ioku teaches several powerful moral lessons. Number 1. True strength lies in the willingness to sacrifice for others. Ioku chose to give up his memories and personal desires to protect his village, demonstrating that selflessness can lead to greater good. 2. Akina's downfall highlights how hatred and envy can consume a person, leading them to destruction. His refusal to let go of his anger ultimately sealed his fate, showing that negativity harms the one who holds it more than anyone else. 3. The villagers' eventual trust in Ioku and their unity against adversity underline the importance of coming together in times of crisis. Strength lies in community, and collective effort can overcome even the darkest challenges. Ioku's humility and his decision to lead without demanding worship emphasize that true leaders serve their people rather than seeking power or recognition. Edochie's unwavering love for Ioku demonstrates that genuine love is patient, enduring and selfless. Her support became a source of strength for both Ioku and the village. To see how this story unfolds, like, share and subscribe to the channel, and write where you are watching from only on African Tales by DeFloras. Thank you.